Hello, my name is Michael Wood. I am a teacher here at Faith International Academy. This year I am teaching grades 5, 6, and 7 math, and I'm also teaching grades kindergarten to 2 music and grades 3 to 5 music. This is my second year teaching here, and I'm so grateful for the chance to teach here in Davao. This is the third school that I've had the privilege to teach in my teaching career. And the first 2 schools where I taught were in public schools in cities in America. I had the privilege to teach in Dayton, Ohio and Cincinnati, Ohio. And those were in public schools. And I still care very much about public education. I think it's so important for Christians to be involved in public education as well. But something I'm really enjoying about my chance to teach here at Faith International Academy is that I get the chance to integrate my content openly. Not only the chance to, I'm supposed to. Whereas when I worked in public schools, there were still chances at times when it was appropriate. I could share with students if they asked me questions about my faith. But I'm really enjoying the fact that here at Faith International Academy, I can just incorporate that into my lesson plans and just really speak openly with my students about what I believe. I love to integrate the content. Sometimes I know people talk about, how would you integrate faith with mathematics or faith with music? But I actually really love that. So for example, in math, there's an order to the world that we can understand through studying it. God made our world so that we can look at it and we can look for patterns and we can understand it. The equations that people have discovered, they're the same today, they're the same tomorrow, and that's actually the world that God has made. It has these laws involved so that there even can be miracles. We know how things are supposed to work, so then when God defies those laws, we see that as something special. And I love talking about that. Also with math, we can learn to be good stewards of our resources. We talk about money a lot in math class because that's one of the most practical ways that students will be using mathematics in their whole life. And if you have a good grasp on math, you can also be the best steward that you can be with the resources that God has given you. And finally, we can also use math and data to address problems in the world. We can look at studies and find places where there might be injustice that's done. And if we have a good grasp of math and statistics, then we can use that to address those problems. Then when it comes to music, God has made the world with beauty to be found, and we are also co-creators with God. We create because God creates as well. That's one way that we are made in His image. We also love to create, and we can also create with what God has given us, this gift of music. And we can make our own beautiful music for our enjoyment and for His glory. What makes FIA a special place for me to serve, I narrowed it down to 4 main things, and I was able to make them all start with the same letter. For me, it's the people, the population, the place, and the purpose. So for each of those, the people, I love interacting with everyone here. I love the students here, and then everyone who works here. When it comes to the guards, I love greeting when I greet the guards and the guards greet me in the morning. I love the grounds crew members. I love the teachers, the admin. The people here are really very special, and I'm grateful to be part of the community. It's also the population, as in the student body. I love that the student body, as well as the teachers, are from such diverse backgrounds. My students, my colleagues are Americans, they're Filipinos, they're Koreans, they're from New Zealand, they're from Australia, and I didn't even list all the countries. It's just such a special environment to work in where I'm daily interacting with people from different nations. And I think when we all come together, it's a really beautiful thing. The place, anyone who's been to Faith International Academy, I think one of the first things that they're struck by is just how beautiful the campus is. And so I recognize that it's very special here in the city of Davao. It's a big city, it's a densely populated city. And so finding spaces like this where you have a full-size soccer field is really, really special. So I love that about here. And then finally, the purpose. I love that I have the chance to help families that are in ministry. I know it's already been a help to me and my wife, as we are also partnered with other ministries that are here in Davao. and it's been a big blessing to us to have our daughter enrolled here in the kindergarten. So that's the summary. There's the people, the population, the place, and the purpose. As I mentioned earlier, I love that I'm able to intentionally integrate matters of faith into my content here. And what excites me the most is the thought of helping and guiding students through the curriculum, but not just the curriculum, also guiding them through just life in general. It's the best moment for any teacher whenever you hear a student go, "Oh, now I get it." And whether that be for math or some life lesson, that's just such a good feeling when you are teaching kids. So I hope, and one thing I'm excited for this year is I hope that I can cultivate in my students a love of learning about the world that God has made for us. One other thing I'd like to share about that I've just been excited about here at FIA, and a way I've seen students grow is one way that I integrate my content when I'm teaching music is each week we'll have what we call the big question of the week. It's where I ask my students a question that's related to theology and music, and I try to train the kids not to answer the question right away. I want these to be questions that they're not just trying to answer and be done with, but to think about and ponder for a long period of time. So I typically will ask them the question on one day, and then usually the hands go straight up. They want to answer. I say, nope, we're not going to answer yet. Think about it. We'll talk about it in your next class. And these are open-ended questions that a lot of them I never even considered until I was studying at university. And it's sad to me because they're not questions that are too deep for kids to think about. They just weren't questions that I think were posed to me. So one example would be last year, I think the first one I asked the students was, why do we sing to God? And so again, I didn't let them answer it right away. And then a few days later, the students did answer the question, but the part that was most exciting is that actually, after I was ready, I had moved on from the question with our class time, but the following week, a parent of one of my students came up to me and said, "Mr. Wood, my daughter was still thinking about that question that you asked. She was at church on Sunday, and she said, oh, now I know the answer to Mr. Wood's question. It's because he deserves it. So why do we sing to God?" A second grader was still dwelling on this and thinking about it over the weekend, and she said, because he deserves it. So it was a very exciting moment, and I'm excited for hopefully many, many more moments like that here at FIA.
In my kayak, we're to shore on a sunny summer day.